Hello everyone, I'm back. Let me show you what I did yesterday. So previously I had done a spot attachment between the C8 hood, inner hood and my C2 hood. And I did that so that everything would stay relative and got rid of the body filler that was separating these two and replaced it with a layer of fiberglass. Right now this is only one layer of fiberglass mat. I hope it's strong enough. It might not be. If I have to redo it, at least I have the reference as far as height and stuff. I'm thinking it might be enough because it is the entire surface area, so it should have enough ability to hold it. So then what I did was I went in between, since I had spot done it, I went in between and cut out the areas in between the spots. So now it's one continuous attachment piece all the way around. It still needs to be trimmed up. It's rough, but again, it's out of sight too. I'll probably put sand it and put a skim coat of body filler just to make it look nice, but functionally it won't change it. I still could do that corner right there. The reason I didn't is because I want the new hood to have the same profile as the original hood. So these corners I never quite finished 100%. So what I'm going to do is put a skim coat of body filler right here, sand this to the right fill, and then I can cut this section out. I thought I was done with this yesterday, but what happened is when I took the clamps and everything off, it separated right here. So what I did was I clamped everything back in, and then I didn't have this edge attached because I didn't think I would need it. And my idea was I could just lift this up, slide it out this way, and release the parts from each other. That would be ideal because at some point I do need to separate these two. Of course, I can cut them apart. But because that separated, that meant I couldn't do that. So what I did was the same thing. I put the aluminum tape here and then put the fiberglass cloth on top of it. Now, while this is just one layer of fiberglass cloth, I did put heavy resin on it, which is going to make it a little bit heavier than it should be, but it also is going to make it less flexible because, again, I'm trying to keep the shape. So right now, the two of them are attached to each other, so they should not separate. You can see that I was worried about the tape holding it to the mold, but because the mold was heavily waxed, that shouldn't be a big problem. And you can see that just by taking the clamps off, it's already released somewhat. And if I hold up on this end, you can see the tape is slowly laying loose. It's almost like, there we go. Now, when I was cutting this part out, let me show you. Here's one of the pieces. This is one of the many pieces that I cut out. So let's just, for instance, say this used to be right here. Anywhere, if there's anywhere that could be. Yeah, so let's say it was right there, just like that. So I got rid of that. And again, like I said before, there was a wall of Bondo. I guess people assumed this whole thing was solid Bondo. It wasn't. It was just enough to get that spacing so that I could make a template, put it on the other side, and get the spacing correct so that the profile's right. But anyway, I cut all of this off. All right, but when I did that, I had to cut down where the black part was. And when I did, in some cases, I cut too deep and I cut into the top surface. So when I flip this over, there's going to be a couple of spots here and there where it did cut through the surface. So let me set down the phone real quick and let's see how much damage I did. Sorry, I'm having to rearrange things. Make sure that I don't block anything, and obviously I don't want to damage the mold either. There we go. The mold weighs way more than this hood assembly does. If I had as much Bondo as people wanted, I would be able to make it. Those of you that don't know Bondo. Alright, let's see. There we go. Alright, not horrible, but you can see, let me turn this around the other way. There we go. Alright, you can see right there, I cut through. Right there, I very slightly cut through. Chipped it right there. Cut through there. Cut through here, but the fiberglass resin from the backside came through. Oh, made some cracks up here. Cut through there. And that's it. I was wondering about how much this would overlap. I knew that some of the resin would squeak underneath, but overall it did a really nice job where those two meet. Wow, somehow I scratched that pretty bad. And then there's a couple of voided areas. Again, I kind of expected that. But you can see that this thing now is solidly attached, and I've managed to extend the edge of the hood. Let's see. Kind of hard to see, but this is where the difference was. It was making the curve look bad. It's a little bit longer, so it's 3 fingers right there. And over there, it's about 2 fingers. So that extra depth there made this curve look bad, when in fact the curve was fine. It was that back edge. Okay, so my next thing is I need to mount this hood on and see how much of this back edge I can keep. Now I can get rid of this lip also that I made to hold the shape, this back edge. I know it won't fit on the car with that lip on there, that lip that goes all the way across. It's kind of covered by tape in some cases, but that whole thing can be cut off. So what I'll do is come in here. You can still see my pencil mark that I made. So somewhere in between this edge, this pencil mark, and this new edge back here, this will get cut off. Won't know until I put it on where that will be cut off. I'm going to go to the other C8 and open and close the hood, and see how much this back edge moves and which direction it moves. That'll also give me an indication, because if I just put this on and cut it to where it barely clears the wipers on that car, then if the hood moves backwards at any point during the opening, then that won't work. All right, so my plan for today is to clean this up, fix these edges, trim this, and then get the hood all flat, level, and get it to actually a finished state. I'll have to go in and clean up all of these edges where the fiberglass sticks out. I purposely, obviously, made the fiberglass stick out because it's going to be easier to trim. I already did a trim with my multi-tool, quick one, so I'll come back in, trim this. So my goal by the end of the day is this hood will be straightened out. It will be have body filler on it where needed, shouldn't need hardly any, and then I'll prime it, potentially using my new primer gun that just came in from Amazon yesterday. Okay, well, that's all I have. Like, subscribe, hit the alert, hit that thanks, and donate something if you want, and I'll see you the next time. Might even be tomorrow. If you can't figure out what I'm doing by now, you don't know Jack.